Welcome to the Lifecast with Ryan Lee. Normally, the Lifecasts are me and another host, but for Mother's Day, I thought it would be great to have a special guest talk about motherhood. Welcome to the Zoom. Welcome to the Lifecast, ladies and gentlemen. My dear friend Chasity, Holcomb. Chasity is a licensed professional therapist. And my wife and I have known Chasity and her husband for 6 years. My wife and I led a young adults group called Venue for the longest time. Chasity, that's where we met her, and they've literally been some of our best friends ever since. And even when I was designing this Lifecast and thinking about, what are the resources and different things that I want to be able to utilize to help people. Chasity, my wife, was just clicking on Instagram and just going through her whole deal, and she comes across your Instagram page, which is called Momfully You, and then she shows me the website. Then she shows me, just this workbook, and it's just all of this stuff. And I'm just thinking, this is amazing. I didn't even know you were doing that, which why would I know? Because I'm not a mom, so I'm not searching for that stuff. But I just thought, man, I'm so committed to pushing resources that I believe are helpful to others. And I just thought, man, it would be an honor to have you as the very first ever Lifecast with Ryan Lee guest. So Chasity, welcome to the Lifecast. Tell us a little bit about your background and what it is that you do on a daily basis for your career.
Okay, so like you said, thank you for having me, first of all.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to be here. When you reached out to me about it, I was like, yeah, absolutely. This is needed.
Oh, for sure.
I am a licensed professional counselor, which just means I went to school for a little bit. I've done some trainings. I've taken tests that kind of certify me to do this, to be able to do this. And I love it. I love to be able to help people and meet them where they are with their mental health needs. Right now, I currently work with children in foster care who have experienced trauma and just kind of helping them process that. And that has been a joy to me. Yeah. And then I also have this huge passion for moms, new moms, moms at different season of their life. Yeah. And so that's one of the reasons why I was excited to come on and talk with you about moms and how we can help them, because we definitely need to talk about this. Absolutely. It needs to be heard.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Chastity's married. Tell us about your husband.
My husband is the sweetest man you'll ever know. His name is Steven.
This is a picture of him.
Okay.
And this is a video of him playing keys at our church. He's amazing.
He is amazing. He's very talented in a lot of different ways. We actually met at Venue as well.
Right.
So lots of connections at Venue.
Oh, yeah. And you have 2 children.
We have 2 children, 2 girls. One is 2 and the other is 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you have two under 2.
2, yeah. She's over 2. But
okay, so 2 under 3.
I still very much believe it. Yeah,
2 under 3. So I made a Facebook post just reaching out to moms, to say, hey, I'm going to be on this podcast with you. What are some of the top questions that, you would have if you could sit with a therapist? And one of the ones that rose to the top was this whole idea of postpartum depression that a lot of moms go through. I've had a few husbands reach out to me and say, hey, we just had a baby. How do I know if she had, and I'm like, I don't think you should be the one doing the diagnosing. And then there's do I have it? Do I not have it? So what is it? How does somebody know if they have it? And what would you say what would you tell them to do about it?
Yeah. So I think the traditional way that we think about postpartum, we usually think like those first kind of 3 to 4 months after delivery. Mm-hmm. But postpartum actually lasts until the baby is 1. So Another thing we think about is just like postpartum depression, right? You hear PPD or, oh, she has postpartum.
Right.
But they have just kind of changed the terminology a little bit to reflect anxiety in that as well.
Oh.
So the new terminology for postpartum depression is perinatal mood and anxiety disorder.
Can you say that one more time? It's what now?
It's perinatal. So that's perinatal is for pregnancy.
Gotcha.
And the first year after birth.
Gotcha.
So perinatal mood and anxiety disorder.
Okay.
So that encapsulates different types of the nuances of mental health that a mom might face, right? So depression could look like feelings of sadness or irritability or anger, influxes in your appetite or you're sleeping, in which, sleeping is off anyway. So that's always hard to, that's hard to kind of to get that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes having those depressed symptoms could lead to, the feeling that I don't want to be here anymore, or, my kid or my family would be better off without me. And then you have those kind of the anxious side of it, where a woman might feel like she's having a panic attack, or she's having these ruminating thoughts. Ruminating mean constantly on your mind, you're thinking about something, you're not able to really relieve your mind and really have peace without having things constantly run through your mind. You might experience shortness of breath, or those heart palpitations, or sweaty palms. Things can manifest with anxiety. I think you kind of hit on it, right? This awareness that something is off. Because a lot of women will say, like, I just don't feel like myself. I feel like something is off. Something has changed about me. Or maybe the dad is saying, like, I don't want to call this, I don't want to say that this is what it is. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
But she doesn't seem like my wife.
Right.
Or she doesn't seem like my girlfriend, or something is different. So I would say if if a mom is experiencing these types of symptoms, it's definitely good to talk to a professional. And the first professional you can look into is your OB, or the pediatrician, because you have those follow-up appointments, and they could be the first point of contact to help, dive into that.
Wow. So when you're a young mom that is aware that she is in the middle of perinatal anxiety and mood disorder. Did I say that right?
Almost. Perinatal mood and anxiety.
Oh, man. I thought I had it. I swear.
You did. I saw it in your eyes.
Okay. Perinatal mood and anxiety disorder, formerly known as postpartum depression. What resources are available to a mom that's going through that?
Yeah, so there are a lot of resources that are available. A lot of that may look different due to COVID-19. But I think a good starting place, especially online, is postpartum.net, which has a lot of information, just kind of startup about what it looks like, different symptoms that you might have, talking with your family about it. They also have like online support groups. And so if none of us are really able to leave the house, but it's good to have that kind of online support group, because you can chime in and hear other people tell their story and how they're managing it. And then there's also a directory for therapists who have been trained to work with perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. There's always the option of looking through your insurance company to find a therapist, or even talking with your OBGYN or your pediatrician or your regular PCP to see if they have any referrals or recommendations about how you can get resources.
That's awesome. Well, I hope that helps anybody that's going through, I'm not going to try and say it again because I'm going to sound like an idiot, but if you're going through what is formerly known as postpartum depression, or I'm going to try it, perinatal mood and anxiety disorder, I think that those are resources that, that are great to help you in your season. Another thing that is constantly talked about, not just for young moms, I believe for all moms, perhaps especially for working moms, is mom guilt. I'm not doing enough. what are you seeing? What do you recommend? How does a mom deal with that, with the guilt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think guilt, kind of the core belief around guilt is this pressure that we put on ourselves about different expectations, right? And we get these expectations from our own beliefs, from our family, from societal beliefs. And if we hold to those things, if we think that this is what the good mom looks like, and if I'm not doing the good things that a good mom is doing, I'm going to feel shameful. I'm going to feel guilty. I'm going to feel like I'm not enough. And I think that combating that really starts at looking at your expectations and redefining what it looks like to be a good mom. Good moms still have difficulty managing challenging behaviors with their kids. Good moms still feel overwhelmed and tired and frustrated and angry. And so when you are able to kind of redefine and restructure what you feel like a good mom is, I think you'll start to see yourself kind of diminishing in this guilt and the shame that you have about being a mom.
Do you ever feel mom guilt?
Sure.
You do?
Yeah, I think the first time, well, maybe not the first time that I remembered having mom guilt was when I wasn't able to breastfeed my oldest. I just kept being like, this is supposed to happen, right? There's always a push for certain things. And there was a huge push and expectation on myself that being a good mom and providing for Judah was to breastfeed her. And when I couldn't do that, I immediately felt guilty, right? My body is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I am not being a good mom. I'm not being a good nurturer. And this is how things are supposed to go. It's supposed to be natural. It's supposed to just kind of fall into place. And I remember reading something, I think maybe it was on a blog or something, but just kind of like give yourself permission to get out of that thinking, like give yourself permission not to breastfeed in a sense. And once I kind of really was like, okay, like she's still being fed, she's still growing. I was able to kind of get myself out of that headspace and say, you know what, I am doing good for her. I am doing good by her, even if it's not my original expectation. Her needs are still getting met. So absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of other examples of mom guilt too that I've experienced.
How can moms take care of themselves better? 2020 perhaps is the year of self-care. We don't really have a choice. But what can a mom be doing in your estimation to be taking care of themselves? Yeah.
And like you said, it's the year of self-care. It's the year of, you do you. It's the year of, self. And it can be a little cliche, right? When you're hearing, oh, just have some me time. Oh, just have a glass of wine. Oh, just do that. All those things could seem like, okay, I've done that and I still don't feel better. I think a huge part of self-care is learning how to nurture yourself intrinsically. So not anything that you can do on the outside that helps you feel better, but what can you do on the inside? What's your inner work, so to speak? So sometimes that looks like I'm not going to entertain that thought, right? That I'm a bad mom or that I suck at this or this season is going to last forever. Like me not entertaining that thought is taking care of myself because the more I think about that and the more I ruminate, right? I think over and over and over again, I'm a bad mom or not amounting to what I expected or I'm not doing what I expected to be doing. The more I think on those things, the more difficult it is for me to function in a way that is healthy.
Yeah.
So really focusing on helpful thoughts, really creating boundaries with yourself that says, today I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm willing to spend my energy on X, Y, and Z, and tomorrow I'll take care of the rest. Or, when something happens that, falls short of what you expected, today was a really tough day and I didn't get those things done in the way that I wanted to. I'll try again tomorrow, right? Always putting yourself in a position to where you're giving yourself that same grace that you probably would extend to someone else.
You know, one of the themes that I sense with a lot of moms is feeling the weight of their children's decisions. And I don't even know if I could call it guilt on that end, but whenever a mom is parenting children that are essentially doing the opposite of what they've been taught to do, you know, I think that's one of the things that keeps moms up at night. What would you say? What would you say to a mom that is having some trouble with that?
So with moms who have young children, again, it goes back to expectations. There are natural kind of developmental things that are happening with young children, toddlers. They're learning so much so rapidly. It is natural for a toddler to test your limits and to throw a tantrum and to do things and to do things that you would not want them to do, even if you tell them no, even if you put them in timeout, even if you do those types of things. It is a natural process of learning about the world around them. It's natural. So, you being or trying to be a perfect mom does not exempt your child from being human. They are going to have this kind of natural process of.
You need to say that one more time. Say that again, one more time.
Which one?
The being human, your kid. Say that one more time.
Oh yeah, this idea that if I'm a perfect mom, I'm going to exempt my child from being human, and that's not true.
Right.
Your child is still going to go through the ebbs and flows of learning, and your position throughout that difficult and challenging time is to be their calm. You bring the calm to them. If they are at the top of that mountain, they're screaming, they're throwing a tantrum, you bring the calm to them. I know you're upset right now, but no, we cannot have ice cream. You be consistent, right. You be the calm, and realize that that's a natural process. For moms that are struggling with older kids, so maybe like teens or maybe even adult children who they feel like have not followed in a path that they raised them in, so to speak. Kind of the same thing applies, right? We are born into this world individuals, and the way we live out our journey is going to look different than anybody expected of us. I think the main thing here is to continue to plant, even if you don't see the harvest. To continue to plant seeds of raising them in a way that you want. And, whatever your value system is, you continue to plant those seeds, because if you are weathered by the storm of they're listening to me, they're not listening to me, it can create some type of resistance, right? The love that my mom or my parents have for me is only dependent on me doing what's pleasing to them. And it pushes them away even further. So if you are that constant place for them, and you're still upholding your boundaries, and teaching them, I think that's the best thing you can do for that relationship.
With all of us being sheltered in place, I love what you just said. You be the mom that brings the calm. I think that's money. And I think that's probably more prevalent now than ever before, when things can feel chaotic in the house, and feeling cooped up, and not being able to do normal life. Do you see an emotional, psychological effect on children, not being able to be with their friends, and what can a mom be doing to combat that, Do they talk about it? Do they sit down with their, is something we just kind of have to wait and see what the effects are? I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I think that's a very important point. I think we just kind of naturally have this thought that if we move on as normal, or we don't talk about the elephant in the room, the elephant will eventually leave. And that's the opposite, right? The opposite is actually true. The more you kind of normalize the stress and change, the more you're able to adapt because you have the truth, right? So we are in a season of change all the time. We're not able to go to school as we normally would. We're not able to go to the store, to the park, or to different parties. And maybe, you've had some celebrations that have been canceled because of COVID. But like acknowledging the difficulty and the challenge this might bring up, I think you're normalizing that for you and the kiddo. And I think I'm probably going to say this a million times, but adjusting your expectations. There's no way you are going to be able to do everything you typically will be able to do. Right. You are not a superwoman, right? You're managing literally 7 different jobs right now. And so letting up on routines or letting up on what you would call a typical day in your life, letting up on some of those, the TV time or, what it looks like to cook dinner or just kind of whatever it is, just adjusting your routine so that it fits this time and this crisis, because it truly is a crisis. There's so many different things to consider during this time. Financial stability, relationships have changed, the health outcome of maybe different people that are related to. And so keeping that in mind and not presenting it as, oh, we're just not going outside. There's a lot more happening to just not going outside. So adjusting those expectations and actually having a family discussion about what this change has brought to your family. I think it's very important.
That's awesome. In closing, let's talk about Momfully You. Okay. We got your Instagram page up right now. I mean, we can see like this is an awesome resource for moms. Tell us how you got started with it, why you decided to do it, and what give us the play-by-play. Okay, if I'm a mom, I'm not a mom. Okay, but let's just say, for all the moms out there, how can they get connected with Momfully You?
I've always kind of had this lingering feeling that I should be doing something for women and moms when it comes to their mental health related to pregnancy and motherhood. And so my past birthday, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to jump. I'm going to jump. I'm not going to have all the things I feel like I need to do it. I'm just going to do it. And so I did. I created an Instagram page that is dedicated to moms who are pregnant, moms who are in that postpartum period, and just moms period in different phases and journeys of their motherhood. And so I do talk a lot about how to cope. I talk a lot about mental health in general is my focus on that page.
And tell me about the Momfully You website. People can go to
www.momfullyu.com, one word. I have a free resource on there, the Anxious Mom Workbook. I have other community resources that can be found on there. I have blog posts. And then in the future, I will be able to offer teletherapy.
Awesome.
And so I'll be accepting some clients on there as well. So
that's fantastic. So we want everybody to go to momfullyu.com. There is an Anxious Mom worksheet, which is just awesome. My wife showed it to me the other day. I was like, this is incredible. Every mom needs to have it. Do you want to give a little plug on what that worksheet entails? All they have to do is sign up to be on your mailing list, and they get it for free. Yeah. So it's a free worksheet. So that's incredible. Tell us just briefly about the Anxious Mom worksheet.
Yeah, so like you said, the workbook is free on my website. All you have to do is put your email in, and it's sent to you to download for free. When I created the workbook, I really wanted to kind of emphasize the power of thoughts, and so I wanted to practically walk moms through how to acknowledge some of the negative thoughts that might go through a mom's mind. What can we do to replace those things? And then kind of stick into a plan to continue this maintenance of helpful thinking.
It's awesome. Well, Chasity, I so appreciate you being on the Lifecast. I want everyone, every mom, and dad, if you can a dad can go on there. A dad can go. Okay, so if a dad goes on there, hey, you go on there, go to Momfully. It's a powerful resource for moms. Right now, you can get the free Anxious Mom worksheet just by going to the website and putting in an email. How awesome is that? And we love free right now. I know I love free. That's right. Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to every mom that's watching this. We so much appreciate you, and definitely we couldn't do life without moms. Hello. Thanks for listening to this episode of Lifecast with Ryan Leak. If you found today's episode to be helpful, please take a moment to rate, review, share with a friend, and subscribe.